Hi everyone, it is I, your boy. Pardon for looking a little disheveled. I just kind of got out of bed and started recording this, but there are a couple things. Let me just get my notes back up here. A couple of not great news bits, updates that I just kind of want to get out there because my lack of foresight into my plans would turn me into a liar, and I am also scared out of my mind for something that's happening to pretty much everybody. But first, let's talk about the first topic, which involves my streaming plans. TLDR, the regular streaming is not going to be a thing. Basically, I found out at the 11th hour because we did do the we did do that one session where we streamed Death Stranding on Twitch, and some complications came up at the 11th hour, mostly due to the fact that I have a procrastination problem, and I just thought everything was going to be okay, and I didn't think to check on things until like my lunch break at work that day. And the initial plan was to feed things through my capture box that I still use, because the capture box has an Ethernet port on it, and I figured what was going to work out was that I was going to be able to hook my capture box up to the network, and we'll be able to stream to my computer via the network. And as it turns out, it doesn't work that way. My capture box does not actually have any streaming capabilities whatsoever. So what we ended up doing was we still ended up streaming Death Stranding. We did so off of Greg's PlayStation 4 via share, and it wasn't the best. Like, the actual streaming part was fine, and we used that PlayStation camera. It ended up not working out great in hindsight. When I went to download the VOD, you probably saw it on the VOD that I uploaded. Unfortunately, there was an audio desync that came around partway through, and I don't know where it came from. It was all done through the PlayStation. It was all self-contained in the PlayStation, so I don't know if it had something to do with the resolution we were streaming at or whatever. In all honesty, I think that something having to do with the process of streaming through the PS4 had something to do with it. So I decided that the best course of action would be to get a streaming box. You know, the streaming box I got was made by the same people who made my capture box, because the capture boxes work so well. And to the manufacturer's credit, the streaming box does work. It does take the picture that would be going to the TV and also can bring it onto the computer, which is fine. The problem comes in with how I wanted things set up, because apparently, I don't know what the limitation is with my computer, but I can only capture from one device at a time. I'm fairly sure it's just something I can upgrade out, like do something and then make it work. But I'm not as computer savvy as many people make me out to be. I mean, I use Linux. I have cursory knowledge of how it works, but in order to get a lot of things to work properly, I would probably need to buy more memory and stuff like that, which it isn't that big of a deal. But at the same time, it might also take that degree in computer science that I don't have in order to get things to work the way that I want to. And that just seems to be the way Linux is with most things. So I can't capture from more than one device. And the way that I wanted my stream set up, I wanted to have it, streaming from the console through the streaming box. And I also wanted the face cam. That's why I bought this lovely webcam that I'm using right now. And I can't do both, because the computer can't handle both. It can only handle one or the other. So at this point, I'm still in the contemplation stage as to whether or not I should return the capture box. It was kind of an expensive piece of kit. I mean, not like bank-breakingly expensive, but still, basically along the lines like, I am willing to spend this much to regularly work with it. but I'm not regularly working with it now. So I'm heavily on the side of just saying screw it and just returning it for right now. But other solutions may come up, so whatever. That's not on the forefront of my mind right now. Now I still can do streams. I can stream directly off of my computer at the very least. I'm using OBS right now, and I can use OBS to. We've recorded off of OBS before. We did Undertale this way. We did anything that involved emulation, like whenever I did Link's Awakening randomizers, when we did those Link to the Past randomizers, and even if I want to, if there are some PC games, because I have some old PC games that'll work on here, like old DOS games, I can record off of those. So I still may do the odd stream here or there, but it's not going to be a regular thing, unfortunately. That is the direction I did want to go. The main reason was because I wanted to get a lot of the editing off of my shoulders, but I don't think that's going to be able to happen. So, apologies for those who are really looking forward to watching me regular on Twitch. I'll still, if I do the odd stream here and there, I'll still put up the VODs, but at the same time, I'm not really equipped to do things on the regular with the console stuff that I want to right now. So, for the time being, we are going to be going back to the standard Let's Play formula, and I do have some videos that I will be working on editing shortly to put up, as I can. Now that we're done putting it off, it's time to get to the more serious of the two topics I have for you today. And if you've kept up with YouTube stuff the past few weeks, you're probably zeroing in, your mind is already zeroed in on what I'm going to be talking about, and that is COPPA. For those of you who have been living under a rock the past few weeks, and this just happens to be the first video that you've seen that talks about this, then I don't think that you exist. But regardless, for those who don't really understand, I think I understand it okay, but anyway. So COPPA, or COPPA, that's an acronym for a U.S. law called the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. It was ratified in 1998. It has been in effect since 2000, and it basically entails the prevention of children's information being taken and used by the internet for things without their parents' permission. And apparently YouTube done did that because they have they're normally YouTube bots that go about doing their YouTube bot things because YouTube doesn't want to do their own damn work and running their own damn website. What it boils down to is that these YouTube bots were taking, watch history information and whatnot from these children and using it toward good old targeted ads, because YouTube is owned by Google, and targeted ads are, Google's MO, more or less. And the government found out, mostly because, YouTube actually did go out of their way sometimes at some points to say that, oh yeah, all the little kids, they love watching our stuff. We're like the new Saturday morning cartoons. And then the government was like, oh, wait a minute, this is illegal. Well, illegal in the sense that the way the targeted ads work, they put two and two together and were like, not no good. So YouTube and Google got sued by the government. They basically settled for something to the tune of $170 million. And as part of their settlement, they have put in place a system of sorts where you now have to label your videos as for kids or not for kids. If the video is labeled for kids, there's a bunch of stipulations that I'll get to later, but basically the videos that are marked as for kids will not have the ad targeting algorithms attached to them, and they will not be taking They will not be taking the watch information, viewing information for little Billy. Whereas anything that is marked as not for kids will still have that kind of stuff, and all that good, wonderful, but stuff. So where I was when all this went down, because I'm an idiot, I don't normally keep up with news for the most part. I was actually on vacation when I received an email from YouTube saying that you gotta label your channel and your videos as for kids or not for kids now. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, my initial, because I didn't have the context behind what was going on here, nor did I have the context of what the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, are trying to do to us. And by us, I mean content creators, not YouTube. I'll get to that later. Basically, what I thought was going down was like, oh, well, I guess they got into problems with parents with little Timmy clicking on things that he shouldn't have clicked on, even though that is partially the parents' fault for just handing him a tablet and saying, here you go, shut up. It's also kind of, there is a little bit of responsibility on YouTube's end to, I guess, stop that sort of thing from happening. I guess this was part of it. So they're asking if my videos are made for kids, and my initial assumption was that, oh, okay, well, they're probably just going to age gate it and make it so that kids under 13 can't watch my stuff. Well, as we say here on the channel / Squeeze the World / whatever we're calling it these days, one of the big MOs for a lot of our Let's Play commentary, especially when Greg is around, is what we have lovingly referred to as bad swears and penis jokes, i.e., we say fuck sometimes, we say shit sometimes, and by sometimes we mean a lot, especially when Greg's here. But that's besides the point. So I apparently had up to a particular date to comply, and I'm like, oh, I'll be, back home at that point, and I can go ahead and just make that happen. And, a few weeks had passed, and up to a few days ago, when I actually started looking more into what's going on with this, and as it turns out, the FTC, are trying to hold the content creators responsible for what kids click on YouTube, even though that should be kind of responsibility that goes toward parents and YouTube. Because YouTube, rather than doing what they normally do, sending bots out with algorithms to police their site for them, while, whatever it is that what does YouTube do? Do they just, are their executives, I guess they just spend their time, I guess their employees just spend their time sitting in kiddie pools filled with money. They just want to enjoy doing that and not actually do work to make sure that their site is not breaking any laws. I mean, we've already seen that they can't do that because they had to pay a hefty fine. And the damning thing is that YouTube is basically just saying, okay, here's what's going on, here's the deal, you got to do this and make sure that you're compliant with the law. You're on your own, we're not going to help you. If you have any questions, consult a lawyer. Actual words, whereas consult a lawyer. Or at least, it's paraphrased. It's paraphrased. But they're not looking to help us. As much as the big fat corporation acts like they're all about the community and they want to be our friends, the moment that they do themselves mischief, they will be quick to stab you in the back, and that is what YouTube is doing. They don't want to be responsible for the things that little Timmy clicks on. Obviously, the parents don't want to be responsible for what little Timmy clicks on. They want us to be responsible for what little Timmy clicks on. And the FTC wants us to be responsible for what little Timmy clicks on, which makes no sense to me. After all, if little Timmy, I know I'm using little Timmy, little Billy a lot, if little Timmy or little Billy goes to a movie theater and is somehow able to make it his way into an X-rated movie, then who should be responsible for little Timmy getting into the X-rated movie? It should be the theater's fault for not being vigilant enough, for not being, responsible enough to stop this kid from getting in to see whatever that might be. You don't blame the people who made the movie. That's what the FTC is trying to do, is blame the people making the movie for the fact that little Timmy went into the theater, snuck into the theater, past YouTube theater security to go and watch the movie that he's not supposed to be seeing. And that's our fault now. So what they're doing is they're enforcing this 4Kids policy, and what that means is that the way that they're enforcing it is they're going to have, I guess, their own bots coming in at some point. The enforcement doesn't really happen until, I would say, January. I think is what the deal is. So I have plenty of time to make stuff happen here. But what's going to be happening is they're going to have their own little bots trolling around, looking in every single video for things that kids would be likely to click on. Stuff about toys, games, arts and crafts, even looking at stuff like animation is another thing. Another thing they're looking for is language that is used in the video. So they're basically looking for things that kids would like, not things that would show as inappropriate for kids. So they're looking for word, because they're a bunch of outdated old people. They're looking more along the lines of stuff like cool, fun, hip, duh. I think duh was one of the words that they listed there, which is it's not 1996. Come on, but they're looking for whether or not you can say fun in a video, which is great. And the big stipulation is, even if if you're in one of my videos here and you say bad words, like I say fuck sometimes, case in point, they're not looking for that. If you say bad, if you look at my stuff, if you see people saying bad words, if you see this guy getting drunk off his ass playing Goemon's Great Adventure, there's still video games in the movie, and that's what the kids want to click on, so that means that it should be considered for kids. I don't know. That's just what they're going by, because their guidelines are extremely vague, and they're pushing for that. And the penalty for those who just happen to have their stuff marked as not for kids and happen to have what they see as content for kids, they get slapped with a fine per video. Per offending video, I should say. And what kind of fine are we looking at? Why, only a life-destroying excess of $42,000. And obviously, I can't afford that. And I thought this was something that was going to be for people who are monetized. Because, I say time and time again, I'm not monetized. I don't make money off of doing this. This is just a hobby. And I do this for fun. And I'm glad that there are people who do watch this and have fun watching it. And that makes me happy to know that I'm making people happy, and that's great. But, despite all of the content that I put out, every single video pretty much that I put out has to do with these things that the FTC is going to be looking for. And so I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I have to take the route where I mark everything. My channel, I'm also going to mark each individual video just to be on the safe side, but I am going to be, unfortunately, having to mark everything as for kids. I say unfortunately because there are some consequences to this that also affect you, the viewer. Now, there aren't really a whole lot of things, I would say, that super affect everything. I'm not affected as much as people who are monetized. People who are monetized and doing this, they make like 10%, like 10 cents on the dollar for every every bit of pay that they would normally get for these kind of videos. Again, I don't get paid, so it wouldn't affect me. But there are still those targeted ad bots that are on my videos, waiting for people to come by so they can give targeted ads to them when they click onto something that is monetized. And so it does affect me. I cannot afford to take the risk to risk my livelihood just to say I drink and swear in this video, but it has video games in it. But I drink and swear, so they're not going to come after me. I'm fairly sure that they will. I mean, I don't know. I'm still a very obscure guy. I mean, I've been doing this on and off for almost 10 years, but at the same time, I don't have a high amount of viewership. But that doesn't mean anything. I can still get targeted. I still have the risk of losing my livelihood if something comes by and sees one video that they don't like. But the way that it affects you guys is that I'm going to be a lot less visible. One of the things that they do is that anything that's marked as for kids is taken out of recommendation. You're not going to see, if you like this video, you might like this and that. You won't see me as a suggestion. You won't see me on the homepage. You may not even see me if you search under certain keyword. I mean, I barely put up keywords on my videos as it is anyway. That's probably one of the reasons why I don't stand out. I mean, you can still see when I upload things. Like, if you go to my actual page, my page will still be there. My page will still have the videos that I put up. It's not affecting my ability to upload things. And it's not affecting the content of the videos themselves. Like, I'll still be able to put up what I'm putting up. It's just that it's going to be a lot harder for people to discover me. It's going to be a lot harder. It's even going to be a lot harder for people who are subscribed to me to see when I put stuff up. I think it disables notifications too. So if you ring the bell, you're not going to get, your phone's not going to blow up whenever I put something, up on the internet. But you can still go to my, you can go to my, I think I'll still pop up on your subscription page. I'm not sure how that works, but if you go to my actual page, you'll still see my stuff, so you can still watch my stuff, and that's great. But the other big thing that's going to affect things is that videos that are marked as for kids have comments disabled. So, considering that I think private messaging is going away too, there's going to be a lot less interaction between me and you guys. And that really sucks. That's the main thing that really sucks, is that I'm not going to be able to interact as much with my viewership. I think I can still use it, because there's something that I haven't used yet. At least not to the extent that other people have been using it lately, where you can put up like text posts and whatnot on your channel, and people can see those. I think I still may be able to do that. So that could probably be salvaged in a way. Like, I could still put up something that you can comment on. I don't know exactly how that'll all work out, but either way, there's going to be a lot less interactivity with you guys, and I'm just going to be a lot more hidden. Despite this, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be putting up stuff, as I can, the same kind of stuff that you've been seeing, the same kind of stuff you guys like, and yeah, it's just going to be, a little bit harder to stand out and to be able to interact with you guys, because I have to give in to government fear-mongering in order to, keep my existence the way it is. Now we're just going in, as I recorded this, we're just going into the second week of December. So this isn't going to be an immediate thing right after I upload this. I'll probably give it a week or two before I pull the trigger and make everything. As long as I can get it all done before January, that's when they're going to start trolling around, I think. That's pretty much what everyone else has said. Is it's going into effect January 2020? Is this whole FTC snooping around YouTube thing? As long as I can get everything set up before then, I should be okay. There's always that little bit of uncertainty, but I think I'm going to be fine. as long as I can just keep with that. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep the way things. I'm gonna keep the way things are. Any of the next videos that I put up, I am going to be marking them as for kids. So I do have a bunch of Let's Play videos that I'm going to be editing in just a second here. And as I put those up, I am going to start marking things as for kids like I should be. But and for the next couple months, or for the next couple weeks, I should say, at the very least, I'm going to keep things the way that they are. So if you want to comment on this video, you can comment on this video. Before everything gets disabled. Share your thoughts if you'd like. But this is what I got to do, and I hope you guys understand. I'd rather things not be this way, but here we are. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that, and I guess look forward to more stuff coming up. And I guess before I go, I know I don't do this like at all. Greg does it. I know. I don't know. I can't tell. I know that he's half joking when he does it. I only really do it kind of as a joke, because I don't want to feel. I want people to feel that people are obligated to give into the algorithm. I know the algorithm is the thing that kind of pushes me up in the ranks. So it's not going to anymore. But the algorithm was the thing that would have pushed me up in the ranks. But I really didn't give a shit. So it's like, I don't feel that people should be obligated to like and subscribe if they don't want to. I do appreciate when I get likes because I know that means that I like things. That's at the very least a little bit of feedback that I'll be getting, and that's fine. When it comes to subscribing, though, just, if you're not already subscribed and you've seen my stuff, if you like what you see and you want to make sure that you can keep an easier track on my channel and see more stuff, then I would say go ahead and do that. I mean, it obviously goes without saying from that kind of a standpoint. I'm not saying, oh, please like and subscribe like all the other. I'm not going to beg you to do so. I mean, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. I'm not going to I'm not going to twist your arm, but I would say I will tell you though, with the way that things are going to be, it is going to be a lot easier to keep track of my stuff if you want to keep track of my stuff. Because I'm the kind of person that will, discover something I like, and it's just kind of over the course of a good long period of time, just kind of watch their stuff, and before I pull the trigger on the subscription. There are a few like YouTubers that I've watched for like a year before I'm like, okay, I'm going to subscribe to them. But I will say, like, again, if you want to have an easier time keeping up with me and you like what I do here, then please consider subscribing. But that's as much begging to, even to that extent, that I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start editing these and putting up what I can. And yeah, until next time, I've been Captain Floofers, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?